Sitting down in front of a blank canvas and staring at that big white surface, it can be intimidating. But my challenge is to create a painting that is historically accurate, but is also dramatic and believable. The Great Age of Sail has always had a special fascination for me. I think I got it from my father, who was a naval officer. And from my mother, I think I inherited my artistic tendencies. The Gaylord National Hotel is a large hotel on the Potomac River near Washington, D.C. When they commissioned me to do 2 paintings for their lobby, I knew it would be quite a challenge, if only because of the huge size of the canvases. Each canvas would be 10 feet by 5 feet. The first step is the research. I study everything I can so that my depiction of the ship will be as accurate as it's possible to be, given that it's more than 100 years after the event. One painting depicts the USS Constellation, which still exists and is in the harbor in Baltimore to this day. I depicted it on the Potomac River in 1871 off of Washington, D.C. So I had to collect all the information I could about Washington at that time. The shoreline of the river in the 1870s was different than it is now. So I found an old map of Washington in the 1870s, and I drew the shoreline. Then once I had the lines from the old map, I used a satellite image of Washington and compared the old shoreline with the current shoreline. And you can see from this that the river used to be much wider. Much of what we know of Washington now is actually landfill, and the Washington Monument was much closer to the river then than it is now. So using this, I chose a point in the river to place my ship so that I got a good view of the Washington Monument and the Capitol and the White House. The first step is stretching the canvas, assembling the 10-foot by 5-foot stretcher strips and then stretching the canvas over them. Now I've already done a drawing of the painting, so the next step is just to transfer that drawing to the canvas and then start painting. The finished painting depicts the Constellation on a bright sunny day on the Potomac River in 1871. Once the paintings were finished, they were off to the framers, which was a really big job in itself just given the size of the canvases. Then they were brought over to the hotel and installed behind the front desk. As an artist, I spend most of my time in my studio by myself, so it's gratifying to know that these paintings are out there being seen by hundreds of people every day. And now it's time to get back to the studio. I've still got lots of ideas in my head for more paintings of the Great Age of Sail.